Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, December 9. A budget of $43 million has been approved for the management of the island's end-of-life pneumatic or used tire industry. This follows Cabinet's approval of the national program for the environmentally sound management of end-of-life pneumatic tires. Information Minister Fable Williams says the allocations will begin this fiscal year. She says the tires can be made useful for several purposes, including co-processing in cement kilns, asphalt mix for road construction, and for the construction of sports grounds.
At present, there is no national program to address the management of the 2 million end-of-life or used tires that are generated in Jamaica annually.
Minister Williams says the total allocation for the program will be evenly apportioned in the recurrent budgets of the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change to support the execution of the national program. End-of-life tires are those that could not or were not reused for the originally intended purpose and are not retreaded. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has named a national COVID-19 vaccine commission, which is comprised of a multidisciplinary, multi-stakeholder group of persons. Members are drawn from the Ministries of Health and Finance, the National Health Fund, the Medical Association of Jamaica, the Nurses Association of Jamaica, and the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association. Commission representatives also include the University of the West Indies, the Jamaica Council of Churches, the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, and the Jamaica Defense Force. As he announced the commission during Tuesday's sitting of Parliament, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said the body had its first meeting earlier that day.
The responsibilities of the Commission, Madam Speaker, include the following: providing guidance and oversight in the development of a national COVID-19 deployment and vaccination plan for the introduction of the COVID-19 vaccine, provide oversight in the designing of strategies for the deployment, implementation, and monitoring of a COVID-19 vaccine in Jamaica, provide guidance in ensuring that the plan and related financing is well aligned to other national COVID-19 recovery and response support plans, and that implementation is fully integrated and coordinated.
The Commission will also guide the implementation of an operations plan and a public education campaign and assess the capacity and readiness of the health services delivery of vaccines and other essential supplies. Minister Tufton says a national vaccination deployment plan is also being finalized by the Commission. In the meantime, the Health Minister says 16% of the island's population will be targeted in the first phase of COVID-19 vaccine distribution.
The intention is to prioritize the vaccination of our health workers who are at the very high risk of acquiring and transmitting infection, and our older adults who we understand are among the most vulnerable to adverse outcomes and death associated with COVID-19 infection.
Of the 16%, 1% will be targeted for the administering of vaccines by April 2021. By mid-2021, another 3% will be targeted, and the remaining percentage by the end of next year. Jamaica is procuring a vaccine through the Global Access COVAX facility, which is a partnership involving the World Health Organization, the World Bank, and others. The island has already made a down payment to access a safe and effective COVID-19 vaccine. As at December 2, there were 51 candidate vaccines in clinical evaluation, 11 of which are in Phase 3 trials. Another 163 candidate vaccines are in preclinical evaluation. The Health Minister says that at this time, the vaccine being administered in other jurisdictions is not part of the COVAX facility, but there are 3 other vaccine candidates that are in the final phases of development and approval. Residents of Westmoreland are being warned that they could face even tighter COVID-19 restrictions due to a spike in cases across the parish. In Parliament Tuesday, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton revealed that in the past month, the number of confirmed cases moved from 245 to 460. In the last 2 weeks, over 100 newly confirmed COVID-19 cases were recorded in the parish. Dr. Tufton says 12 of the 22 deaths recorded in Westmoreland were in the last 2 weeks. COVID-19 admissions at the local hospital have also steadily increased in the last 3 months. The Health Minister says intervention and testing by the ministry show a 15% positivity rate across the parish, which is higher than the national average. 80% of all communities are showing active cases, with persons presenting with varying degrees of severity of the respiratory illness. Dr. Tufton says surveillance revealed that the infections are being driven by illegal parties being hosted at bars and corner shops, nights, wakes, and bike parties.
We are giving notice, Madam Speaker, that we can't continue to tolerate this type of disregard for the protocol. And if the present measures are not adhered to, and we do not see a change in the trajectory over the next few days, then new restrictions will be imposed on the parish to effect that change. And these restrictions can be anything from tighter curfew hours to suspension of certain activities, even the limited activities that are currently allowed.
And finally, another 125 schools will be allowed to resume face-to-face classes. The additional schools include 66 secondary and 59 primary institutions. Education Minister Favour Williams made the disclosure during Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives. Minister Williams says the schools were approved by the Ministry of Health as being COVID compliant and are deemed satisfactory for the phased face-to-face reopening. The decision also followed the successful completion of the pilot reopening of 17 schools in November. Along with the 17 pilot schools, 22 others out of the selected 125 are now engaged in face-to-face classes, having been approved to start on December 7 and end on December 18. The remaining 86 schools indicated their preference to begin face-to-face on January 4, 2021, the start of the new school term.
As we move forward, Madam Speaker, and as the Ministry of Health continues its physical inspection of schools, the number of schools that can resume face-to-face will increase. Madam Speaker, we have already had consultations with principals of these schools who are already beginning to be in contact with parents. Schools are encouraged to make full use of all the approaches, online, audiovisual, and the learning kit. While engaged in the face-to-face, schools should also use the rotational approach in which some of their students will be in the physical classroom while others will utilize remote learning.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.